As a cue, we have a new follower, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Chess TV. And the reason we have a new follower is because we have a very special guest on today's Checkout Show. We are joined today by a lifelong chess player, very successful entrepreneur, investor, and writer who is returning to the game of chess. And I'm very excited to discuss James Altucher's journey, not just through the game of chess, but through life. And I'm going to be bringing him on right now.
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for having me on. I hear you. You I hear you though fine. Yeah, sure. James Altucher. I've written a bunch of books. I guess the main thing chess related is I got over 2200 when I was about 26, 27 years old in the 90s. I'm an old man now. And then once I hit 2200, I basically stopped playing. My last rated game I played, I think, was against the 13-year-old Irina Crush, and she crushed me, and I figured that's it. It's over. And being 2200 was sort of important for career reasons, for various reasons. And I took a 25-year break from tournament chess, and now I'm coming back to tournament chess, and people tell me it's impossible at my age to get to my old rating. I remember I was playing in the U.S. Senior tournament, and Elliot Winslow, who's an IM, who's like in his 70s, told me I was delusional, and I promised him I would get back to 2200 and prove him wrong. And unfortunately, he's been completely correct so far. So I feel like it might be hard, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I commend your dedication, not taking impossible for an answer. So impossible is nothing. You're taking on this hero's journey, full steam ahead, and just had a match. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what just happened as another step of this journey, and the structure of this match and what came of it?
Yeah, I mean, right now there's a tournament in Dallas that I was planning on going to, and like all my friends went there. It's the Southwest Class Championships, so I was planning on going, and then I figured, why should I go? It's 8 rounds. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be away from my family from Thursday through Tuesday. I'm gonna play, all sorts of people, young, old, low rated, high rated, medium rated, and I figured, why don't I bring the tournament to me? So I put an ad out. I'll play any 2200 plus, $500 prize if they beat me, 2 classical games, 2 rapid, and then some blitz games if we want. And so somebody responded, 2296, and he's a former Kentucky champion, I guess, Davis Whaley, and he won the 2 classical games, but then I won one of the rapid, and we drew the other rapid. So I feel good. My rating went up, and I learned a lot, and I didn't have to travel anywhere for the weekend.
That is so epic. Way to take destiny to your own hands, and definitely a segue into something that I really want to talk to you about, which is lifestyle design. The idea of building your lifestyle, how you spend your time around your passions, which we met through a mutual friend, Cal Fussman. We don't know each other super well. We're going to be getting to know each other better on this talk, live. But just from the outside looking in, it looks like you've done an incredible job with your life, with your career, of building your life around things that you care deeply about, that you believe in, and I'd love to hear. What were you always like that? Did that happen like right off of the bat? Did you grow into that kind of lifestyle, or what did that look
I
like
would
for
say
you?
I grew into it because it's a good phrase, lifestyle design, because we all love doing things, different hobbies, whatever, and and we unfortunately can't always do what we want. We have to have responsibilities, we have kids, we have the whatever debts we have. And so there's this enormous pressure from society to do whatever is the normal path, whether that's going to college when that might not be the right choice for you, or getting a job in an industry that's, appropriate but maybe not appropriate for you. And we often give up our interests, whether it's playing chess, playing a sport, uh, uh, writing, or performing in some way. There's so many different things people are interested in, and I've always kind of made sure, or let's say in the past couple of decades, I've always made sure I don't sacrifice the things I love to do more of the things I hate, and that's really important to me. So, a couple years ago when I decided I'm gonna make this comeback into chess, I really had to give up certain things, but I didn't want to do more of the things I hate in lieu of doing the things I love. And I love playing chess, and I really love this quest. I like to go on quests. And a quest is when you go after some improbable goal and you work really hard at it and you have adventures along the way. So you think of famous quests in history, and they all have that form. You don't necessarily have to achieve the end of the quest, but the adventures along the way definitely happens. And so on this chess quest, I've had so many adventures, and it's been so exciting. Of course, I hope I get back to my old, ranking that I had before, but we'll see. It's definitely been such a pleasure learning how the chess world has evolved and changed. Studying has changed, the people have changed, computers have changed the way chess is looked at. And so it's been fascinating. And then just traveling all over the world has been very exciting for me.
Absolutely, yeah. Travel is a beautiful blessing to have in your life, and you can learn a lot about yourself. You can explore yourself by exploring the world, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. I know I've done that too. But I'd like to go back to this quest. When just as a frame of reference, when you made this decision to return to chess, where were you in terms of elo, and any time
Yeah.
constraint, and where have you gotten so far, and how has that improvement happened? What kinds of things are you doing in order to improve?
Let's not say I've been improved. I mean, I was 2204 when I started this quest. That was the
Oh,
last rating I had in, I think it was 1997.
okay.
And and then I stopped. And now about 2050, so I've lost like 150 points. And it's been a brutal journey. Like a lot of there's a lot of things that where I've changed. Like my memory is not as good. My focus is not as strong, particularly as we go later in the day. And chess itself has changed. Like to get to 2250 back in the 90s, I had to know my openings, and I had to know tactics. And I had to know the kind of attacks you do in those openings. And now you have to know a lot of things. You have to know, first off, everybody is good at tactics because they do puzzle rush every day, all day. And the openings are much deeper, and everybody has to know openings a lot more complicated. And my memory is no longer as good. It used to be very good. It's no longer as good now. And you have to actually know how to play chess also. Like you have to know what weak squares are and a weak color complex is, and all these more sophisticated you have to know, end games much deeper, prophylaxis much deeper. So there's a lot more knowledge in chess now. And on the one, and then also I switched openings. I played D4 on my way up to 2200, and now I switched to E4. So I had to learn a whole new set of openings. So I feel I've learned a lot more just by the fact that I learned new openings, I learned new positions. I've been, studying tactics and middle game stuff every day. About 4 or 5 hours a day I study, and rating has gone down. And the other thing that wasn't important when I was younger was psychology. Like I was
Mm.
just always just enthusiastic to play. But now, uh, I get disappointed more when I lose. And I thought it was going to be much quicker to get to maintain and or get back up to 2200, but it's been very hard. 2200s are very strong now, and so it's difficult. But again, part of the quest too is finding out how to learn. Like, so for instance, my memory is not as good. So I took lessons from a former world memory champion to improve my memory. And Chessable, shout out to Geert from Chessable. Chessable had set that up for me. I've had just I flew out to Norway, had dinner with Magnus Carlsen, and attended the Norway chess tournament last year. Went
Amazing.
to Amsterdam and watched um, Levitov Chess Week in person. Got to meet all of my heroes like Levon and Wesley So and Boris Gelfand turned out to be a fan of my columns and books, and so I was happy about that. He's a very intimidating guy to talk to, and it's
And
just been a very interesting journey so far. Sometimes very disappointing, but interesting no matter what.
hey, he might have felt the same way about you, that you were very intimidating to talk to because he's been reading your columns, your books, etc. It's funny when that
Probably
kind
not, but I'll go with
of
that.
okay. Well, so cool. Rating is one measurement of progress, but it's interesting that it's the inverse in this particular quest. You start at kind of where you left off, and even though Elo has technically gone down, you feel like you've expanded your repertoire.
I
So
mean,
now you have different openings. You are practicing your memory. You are meeting these people that you looked up to, and this progress is being measured other ways.
and I've had progress, and like I've beaten higher rate opponents now than I ever did in the past. Like I never would have been able to beat an IM or someone 2400 plus in the past, but now it happens in over the board tournaments, and I've beaten in blitz like GMs, but I've also lost to 1600s in tournaments, and that has never happened to me in my life. So on the one hand, my volatility has become greater since I was younger. So sometimes I basically play like an old man, and sometimes I play very sharp. Whereas I used to have a very tight range of people I could beat, and so you learn about yourself too, like how you deal with setbacks, how you deal with loss, how there's a saying, it's the journey, not the goal. And I don't know if that's really true, but you learn about your ability to deal with that cliche. And I've been on lots of quests throughout the past 30, 40 years. I mean, I'll give you an example.
Mm.
I I always like to get involved in whatever it is I'm interested in. So back in the early 90s, I helped start ICC, which right now we're on chess.com, but ICC, the Internet Chess Club, was the first chess community like this where you could play games. So I wrote a bunch of the software for that back in like 1991 or 1992. It's a
Incredible.
long time ago.
Yeah.
And back then I was 2200 strength, and now I feel like again I'm coming back into this game. I write for New in Chess. I'm the only non-GM writing a column for New in Chess, and again I like to get involved. So I used to organize tournaments right here in my house. I like to be involved in the community basically.
And these, for those that don't know, these tournaments are legendary. We have another mutual friend, Deepak Aaron, who you guys have met. He's been my co-host on the Checkout Show before, and he was a regular at these tournaments. Helped invite and organize
Yeah,
these
he
things.
was the
And
TD.
I've heard some great stories from some epic showdowns, and I love
Epic.
what's happening in Atlanta in part due to you. Where there's this boom happening of casual social chess. There's the Atlanta Checkmate Club on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. There's a meetup at Ladybird on the Beltline on Sundays. We do a chess boxing training every Saturday at Decatur Boxing. You've had events at your house. It's this, in my opinion, this blooming community of chess players in Atlanta that I think will make waves in the chess world in the near future.
I think Georgia has become very strong. Like I played in the Irwin tournament of senior state champions. So at the U.S. Open, they gather all the state champions of all the senior champions of each state, all the elementary school champions of each state, all the middle school champions, high school champions, all the women champions of each state, and Georgia overall won at this 50 state competition. I mean, I didn't win, but we had a couple of people who, like the elementary school, junior high school, the girls champion. They all won their respective tournaments.
So cool. Yeah, go Georgia. Georgia taking over the world. Now, I also want to return to something you said earlier about cognition. I am obsessed with cognitive flexibility right now because I'm about to give this talk and I'm writing about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to improve it. And I'm curious what kinds of things you did with this memory coach that you've stuck with, and you've seen results from. So how have you gone about improving this thing that you feel like has deteriorated with age, but that you know you need to improve for chess?
It's definitely deteriorated with age, and I think the memory coach, like if you go to a memory competition, it's more about looking at a deck of cards for 15 seconds and then reassembling the order which you saw initially. And that really was, and his theory was, and this guy was a 2300 himself, and his theory was is that the same ideas will work for chess openings. But I didn't find that to be so true for me. I found that the main thing that helps me remember things is basically is going to sound like a cliche, but love. So if I love a particular variation and I really want to learn it, I'll understand the positions in it, I'll play some games with it, and that really helps my memory. So now I would say my openings are in good shape despite my lack of a good memory because I love learning them, and now here I am. I can't remember what I had for breakfast in the morning, but I can remember, obscure opening variations.
Sounds like you need
Wasn't
to
as
find
easy.
a breakfast that you love. But
Yeah, that's true. Uh, when I was younger, I could just so I always had a coach. So my very first coach, actually, that I ever took a lesson from, only one lesson, so I can't call him a coach, was Sammy Reshevsky back in 1986 or 84, and I was like 16 years old, 17 years old, but my main coach who took me from to 2200 was John Fedorowicz, and we would meet 3 times a week. This is in 1995, 96. We would meet 3 times a week and study openings, and that was the only thing you really had to study a lot. And so I went from 2050 to 2250 in like 6 months or so, maybe a little longer, but about 6 months. Went up strong, and uh, so as soon as I started getting back into chess, I immediately said to myself, I need a plus minus equal. So a plus is a coach, someone better than you. Uh, an equal, of course, is your cohort of people who are about the same rating as you, and you exchange notes and you compete. It was like those Tuesday night tournaments. That was like my equals, and we had fierce battles and theoretical battles and so on every Tuesday night. And then minus is you have to find someone to also coach because you don't really understand something until you can explain it simply to someone else. So I called up somebody that I had coached literally 30 years ago, and I said, "Hey, can I give you lessons again?" And he was very excited, and I've been teaching him ever since. He's actually the professor that threw me out of graduate school, but then he later became my student himself. I haven't thrown him out yet, and so I started that process, and I've taken lessons from a bunch of different players. What now? My coach is Avatik Grigorian, who runs chessmood.com, a very
Oh
great
yeah,
site for chess instruction.
very cool.
And it's really pleasure learning from him, and I'm learning a huge amount. And then you just have to kind of, you know, really the challenge for me has been the psychology of, so someone asked in the chat, do you think the quality of 2200s has improved? So I was in Norway, was having dinner with Magnus's dad, Henrik, who I've actually played a match with, and Peter Hein Nielsen, who's Magnus's coach. And Peter suggested that it could be that I've already improved more than I was back in the 90s, but the chess world has improved even more. And I would say at the 2200 level, um, players know their openings much, much better. They know tactics much better, and they know endgames much better. They basically are just better players, and the computer helps them learn their openings extremely well, so they know every sideline, every trick, and it's very hard tactically to get an edge over a good, solid 2200. I mean, you have to be very creative. The creativity has people think creativity has gone down because of computers, but I would say you have to be much more creative now to win at the 2200 level, even the 2100 level than it used to be. Which is why sometimes you see 2200s beat GMs and so on.
It makes so much sense. The accessibility of chess now, you don't have to go out and buy a chess book. You don't have to go find a chess coach. You have it on your phone, on your browser. You can sign up for chess.com premium and have more lessons than you could do in a lifetime. And
Yeah,
same with
and
Chessable and et cetera.
yeah, and there's so many great YouTube videos. Like I've watched, several hundred between Naroditsky and Hikaru and Eric Rosen. I've watched like maybe over 1,000 videos of those guys. Like they're all great instructors in either real life or in the YouTube format. And could you imagine? I mean, you could watch the best player in the world, you know, hanging out with his friends, playing bullet chess. Could you imagine back in the 50s, like watching Smyslov play on Twitch? Like that never would have occurred, or Botvinnik, that never would have occurred. And now there's this amazing treasure of chess content out there. So everybody gets to learn from that. Like I had a benefit in the 90s of having a coach. Like I understood the need for a coach. Most chess players did not have a coach then. Now, if you just anytime you see someone over 1800, you could just say, "Who's your coach?" And 99 out of 100 people will say, "Oh, my coach is so and so 2700 from Bulgaria, only charges $15 an hour." And it's chess coaching is a commodity at this point.
How lucky are we for that? I mean, it's such an advantage to the time period that we live in, and
It's true. It's amazing, and it's amazing because the community also has developed a lot. But by the same token, I know that I work hard and I do all these things, but now everybody does. So I wish it didn't happen as much as it did because maybe I'd be back to 2200
sure, yeah,
selfishly.
that definitely resonates.
I mean, when I first started coming back, all I did was I sent a text message to Eric Rosen, and he's like, "Sure, I'll give you lessons." And then suddenly, I'm learning the Stafford Gambit from practically the inventor of it, and
Incredible.
and then I switched a couple of times. I switched to Jesse Cry, who's a great teacher, and I had played him in the U.S. I had played and beaten him in the U.S. Junior Open when we were kids back in like 1988, and I figured, oh, okay, he went on to become a GM. I didn't because I stopped playing, and now I figure I'll take lessons from him. But we have very different styles, and he's a very good guy, very good player, but I enjoy the lessons I'm getting from Avatik Gregorian.
So cool. And a quick pause. I saw another jump in viewership here. So hello Chess TV. We are on with James Altucher. If you want to learn more about James and get a little bit more context for the conversation that we're having, do ! James Altucher in chat. You'll see his website. And if you have any questions for James, come on over from the chess.com homepage or Chess TV and come into Twitch. Drop your questions in the chat. We'd love to hear them, talk about them. We'll be live here for some more time. And I see an exclamation point James. Just add his last name, Altucher. It's right there on the screen underneath him. And you'll see that website. Sorry to interrupt. But James, I have something I'd like to see if you'd be interested in trying. And it's something that we'll be doing in 2 weeks on the main stage of MIT with two people yet to be announced, but you will recognize them. I promise you that. If you follow chess, you'll know these two people. But we will be through the lens of chess boxing doing a chess and fitness challenge. And my question for you, so you can think about it a little bit, is how do you currently take care of your body? We've been talking a lot about your brain, improving memory, improving chess. And I'd like to talk about your physical fitness too, and then share this kind of format with you and see if you'd be interested in it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's the other thing that's changed for me as I've gotten back into chess is that taking care of yourself is extremely important, or else you run out of steam. You run out of stamina in a tournament. When you're younger, if you're 18, 19, you don't really run out of steam in a tournament. You could sleep 4 hours a night. You could eat McDonald's all day and then play your game. And now everything I do is related to trying to increase energy at chess. So I eat much, just in the past 2, 3 years, I eat much healthier than I used to. I really make an effort to sleep 8, 9 hours a night. I attempt to exercise every day. I usually do, but I not always. I'm not a natural athlete or anything, but I'm just trying to do these things that I know are important for me. So eat, sleep, exercise has become very important for me. And also stress is related to, like, when I was younger, I didn't have as much stress. Now, no matter what happens to you in life, whether you're a success, a failure, or whatever, most people are somewhere in the middle, is that there are sometimes, even the more successful you are, the more stress you have. And stress is the chess killer. I'm somehow misquoting Dune, but stress will kill your chess, and that's very important to me, to how I manage stress and my emotions. And also, you need to be creative to win. You need to practice creativity. It's not as natural. So one important thing that happens to the brain as you age is that you go from having, I think it's called fluid intelligence, to crystallized intelligence. So when you're younger, you're very creative, like your neurons are firing all over the place. But then as you get older, you get better at pattern recognition, and you could say, "Oh, this position looks like this position," or "This situation, looks like these other situations that I've had before." Which is why, for a mathematician or even an artist or a physicist, their peak age is around 25 years old. But for a historian, the peak age is actually around 69 years old.
Wow.
And for a writer and for some professions like that. Unfortunately for me, chess, you lose more than you gain from this change, from this shift in intelligences as you age. Like, it's you still have to be sharp and creative, but it helps to be able to say, "Oh, this is like this game I once played," or "This is like that game Fisher played," or whatever, and synthesize it. But you still need all the calculation and the tactics, or else you're just going to blunder at the end.
Makes a ton of sense. And there's so many parallels between what you're talking about and what happens to the central nervous system in the brain during chess boxing. So I'd like to share some parallels.
Sure.
So the part of your brain that you use when you box is your amygdala. It's the part of the brain that evolved first. It's your center for fear response. And when you shock the central nervous system, when stress enters your psyche, your amygdala lights up, and it lets adrenaline into your system, and that's your fear response to fight, flight, or flee. And that part of your brain is terrible at chess. So, if you're sitting in a tournament, and let's say you're up against a 9-year-old international master, and this little kid is kicking your butt, and it's making you angry, and you start to feel like, like I'm in trouble, or there's a threat, your amygdala actually fires up, even if someone isn't trying to punch you, or you aren't, getting a high heart rate and fatigued like you would be in chess boxing. So when you're using your amygdala to play chess, let's say you're a 2200 level player, you might only be using 80% of your efficacy in chess. So maybe you're more around like a 1800 to 2000 level player when you aren't using the part of your brain that's good at chess. The part of your brain that's good at chess is your prefrontal cortex. It's the center of pattern recognition, strategic thought, visualization. It's the part of your brain that you use when you make a business plan, or when you think action reaction, and you're trying to calculate whatever kind of moves you want to do next. So the trick to chess boxing is not getting really good at chess and really good at boxing. That's just kind of table stakes. The trick to chess boxing is that minute in between rounds, and managing your state change so that you're using the right part of your brain or your body when you're doing whatever activity comes next. And I find it so interesting that in the last 2 years, you've had all these lifestyle shifts that are associated with One, trying to be healthy, live a long time, of course, but the specific quest or goal that you have of improving at chess. And you mentioned that you try to work out every day. I'm curious what kinds of workouts you do, and if there's any kind of let's call it wellness practices broadly, things like breath work, things like meditation or visualization that you incorporate into those fitness routines.
Yeah, I mean, I would say very little in terms of cardio, mostly weight training. I have a gym. Unfortunately, I have a gym in my house, and it was left here by the guy who lived here before, and he left all his weights and stuff. So I use those,
Nice.
and basically I try to do that every day, and that apparently gives you more energy, building muscle. And it was, Todd Bryant, who works at chess.com, and he's a national master. He told me that if you look at the winners of the various senior tournaments, he noticed that they have quite a bit of muscle. You could tell that they all do some weightlifting, and so that was very interesting to me, to notice that. So that's been very important. And in terms of wellness routines, meditation is very important, but also at the board itself, I try various focus exercises. So the neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has been on my podcast, and from him, I learned this concept of, like, what I'll do is I'll focus on one of my opponent's pawns right before the game. I'll focus on a pawn on the other side of the board for just about 30 to 60 seconds. And it's not that easy to do. You have to basically just think about that pawn and as narrow your vision as possible, like focusing on that pawn. And that's a good practice so that during the game itself, you're able to focus without your mind wandering and drifting around. I find that to be, I would say I tend to perform better if I do that exercise than if I don't do that exercise.
I have learned so much from Dr. Huberman and his podcast, Huberman Labs. And in a somewhat recent episode, he actually brought up chess boxing, which blew my mind.
Oh, yeah?
When he was talking about task switching and cognitive flexibility. And he shared a version of the exercise that you just shared that I'll share with chat in case it can be helpful in their day-to-day life or in their chess. But he starts with his hand 6 inches from his face. And he tries to notice as many details about his hands as possible, maybe some lines on it, maybe little beads of sweat if they're sweaty palms, whatever. And he'll do conscious breathing while he's honing in and focusing, like you do on that pawn on the other side of the board. And then ideally you're doing this somewhere outside where you kind of have a medium and a long range view as well. So you can take the temporal spatial part of your brain from focusing on something very close up to you, and you can kind of zoom out and then focus on something about 10 to 15 feet away. Try to take in as many details, be as like consumed by whatever it is that you're looking at while consciously breathing. And then the final kind of form of this is, let's say you're sitting at the beach, you're looking off into basically as far as you can look. Maybe at the horizon, maybe something 100 to 300 yards away, and you're doing the same thing. And not only does this help with a mindfulness technique of now I'm fully present, I'm focused on whatever I'm trying to focus on, I'm gathering as much information as I can from it. But the other benefit that you're getting out of this is your eyes kind of function like a muscle. And we spend a lot of time right here looking at the screen to where our eyes adapt to just being really good at that and not much else. So we can lose our eyesight if we aren't taking breaks and focusing on other things different distances away. And I've found a lot of benefit from incorporating that type of practice into just breaking up my workday, breaking up writing sessions, breaking up streaming sessions, just taking little wellness breaks for myself throughout the day.
Yeah, I think all of this together helps, and yet I still haven't gotten the rating back to where I want. And because I think there's lots of things all together. Like, one thing I'm thinking about a lot is tournament selection. So instead of playing, like, so for instance, sometimes there's a Friday night tournament, starts at 7 p.m., you play 3 rounds. And that means the last game is happening around 11 p.m. Well, I go to sleep usually around 9 or 9:30 p.m. And there's a lot of kids in this tournament, so I could be playing someone who's 1,700, who really is, in a year from now, he's going to be 2,400. And And so to actually achieve a rating goal, a tournament selection is somewhat important. When you're ready for it, like when you feel you deserve the rating, tournament selection is important, which is why I didn't go play in Dallas this weekend, for instance, and instead brought in a basically a 2,300 player and played here. And
I love
that,
this so much. This is like playing chess with chess. It's like choosing
exactly
your
you have
battlefield.
you have to do that. Like, look, my quest before chess was I spent 6 years doing stand-up comedy. Like I traveled all
No
around the
way.
world doing stand-up comedy.
So cool.
And you have to change your life and you have to figure out strategically there are shortcuts to getting what you want. Not necessarily always to getting better at what you do, but to achieving certain milestones. There are often shortcuts. And so, you have to get to know the comedy bookers. You have to find someone who's famous, who you're going to be able to tour with, and so on in terms of comedy. And then all my life, though, I've been good at doing these quests, and now perhaps this is the hardest one of all, which is chess. Getting good at chess, I think, is harder than making money. So that's another thing I've learned.
Well, I got something for you, James. This is lighting up all kinds of parts of my brain. Every Saturday we have a chess boxing training session, 2 o'clock. Deepak leads the chess training, and one of our regulars is the owner of Laughing Skull Lounge in Midtown.
Oh, really?
The comedy stores, the comedy club. So when I withdrew from law school, my first job was being Marshall Childs' personal assistant. So I would write for his blog, I would do some business development for him, and I would spend every day at Laughing Skull. And he fought in one of my charity boxing events, loves boxing, and is trying to get better at chess. And if you don't already know him, you may already know him because you've already been on this comedy quest. But if you don't already know him, I think you two would be great friends. And it could be a different way to work out while you're improving at chess and come do something new and fun.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him. I owned a comedy club for a while in New York City as part of this.
Wow.
And of course, that meant I can go on stage anytime I wanted when you own the club. And I knew all the other club owners in New York City, which is kind of New York City and LA both are like the capitals of comedy in the US. Although I actually think the worst comedians are in New York City and LA. I think outside of New York and LA, you could find the best comedians. But
and how about Austin now? I mean, Austin is
Austin as well.
exploding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many great comedians have moved to Austin. It's amazing. But and I'm going to Austin in about a week, so I'm hoping to get reacquainted with them.
Yeah.
But comedy was very difficult, but chess is even harder because you could always, if you're funny, you could always make someone laugh. If you're good at chess, you can't always win.
It's so true. Well, I'd be curious to see the parallels of trying to improve at comedy versus trying to improve at chess, and if there are similar tactics that you can employ aside from just informed repetition. Which
it's very similar. It's not that 10,000 hour informed repetition thing because there's no such skill. I'll even say this: there's no such skill as chess. There's no such skill as comedy. It's really a collection of micro skills. So chess, you have to be good at openings, memory, calculation, creativity, visualization, end games, middle games. They're all different skills. Comedy, you have to be good at stage work, making voices, writing, writing punchlines, performing, crowd work. There's so many micro skills that all together. You look at someone like Louis C.K. or Chris Rock, they have all the micro skills, and that's what makes them a good comedian. Business, there's no such skill as business. It's a collection of micro skills, sales, negotiating, leadership, having ideas, executing, and management, and on and on. So with chess, too, you have to break apart the micro skills and make sure you're getting good at all of them, or at least the ones that there's always a question: do you get good at the weaker skills you have, or you get good at the stronger skills? I'm a believer you continue getting good at the stronger skills because that's where your advantage is.
Makes a lot of sense, and that's a parallel to life. As I've gone further,
what's the same thing in boxing? Like, what are the micro skills of boxing?
Yeah, absolutely. Starting with your feet. So you think of boxing, you think of punching with your hands, right? But it is mostly footwork at the beginning. You want to learn distance control. You want to learn being able to step and move with your punches. You don't want to cross your feet. You don't want to feel awkward on your feet. You want to feel very comfortable. So the first drills I take people through are, you have your guard up, you're training, even when you get fatigued, guard is always up, and you're stepping very consciously. You learn how to step forward, step backwards, and step laterally to start to set up angles, to be able to attack, to be able to retreat. So it's feet and breath. A lot of people, when they start playing not playing chess, when they start boxing, they'll hold their breath. They'll just throw a bunch of punches and then realize they haven't taken a breath in 15 seconds. All the oxygen's out of their body, and they'll punch themselves out. That's where that saying comes from. So
how important is positive self-talk in boxing? Because you ever feel like in chess, you're in the middle of a game and you make a move and you're like, oh, I'm such a loser. I am the biggest idiot in the world. I am just a dumb, stupid idiot. Like, I'll say that to myself over and over again. I have to catch myself and try to have more positive self-talk, because there's always opportunities, even when you're losing. It's the same thing in boxing. There's always opportunities, even when it seems like you're losing. But I think in order to catch those opportunities, you need to be more positive in your head.
You and I are on the same wavelength with this one, but it is an age-old debate with one of my best friends, Laura, who was a Olympic swimmer and very talented, and she is fueled by negativity. She is fueled by a hard coach, by telling herself she's not good enough, she needs to be better. That's what drives her. And you think about someone like Jordan. Jordan had very similar thought patterns. You watch something like The Last Dance, he would make a reason to get mad at someone or to get mad at himself to get a different level out of himself. So I think it really is just like any great question. It depends. It depends on the person's personal psyche. And for me and you, I definitely tend towards, hey, I'm better than this. Not I suck. I'm better than this. And here's how I can be better at this.
But you bring up basketball, and Kobe Bryant's an interesting example. When he was trying to come back after his troubles, he took on an alter ego, the Black Mamba. That's what he called himself. And he studied everything about, this is the most deadliest snake in the world. And he became the Black Mamba when he stepped out onto the court. And it turns out a lot of athletes have these alter egos. And I've experimented a little with this. Like if I'm in a position and I'm trying to rationalize a move, I imagine myself talking in Naroditsky's voice like he does on YouTube. And can I make a Naroditsky-like justification for the move I'm about to make? And does it sound true to me when I'm even thinking in his voice? And does this justification sound true to me? Particularly painful when I'm playing Naroditsky in a recent tournament I was in, but that's another story.
Yeah, it's a different level of his voice in your head.
Yeah.
No, I love that you brought up Black Mamba, because Mike Tyson has a very similar thought structure. And I don't know how much you know about Mike Tyson's story. Being from New York, I think you'll find it especially interesting if you don't know. But his coach was a very famous coach that really became famous through Mike Tyson. He was a hypnotherapist. He dedicated his life to boxing, never had a family, and found Mike when he was 13 and trained him to believe in himself in this way that separated who he was when he met Cuss from who he was when he became heavyweight champion. And Mike's famous for talking about before most of his fights, he would be Michael, looking in the mirror, sobbing, scared. And there's something about how Cuss helped condition him that when he walked into that ring, it all changed. And there's that famous video of his eyes following his opponent, moving back and forth. That shift, whatever it is, however it happens, that shift into the predator, the Black Mamba, the peak performer, I think is an incredible thing to cultivate. But I don't think it's something that just happens. I don't think it's something that you innately have. I think it's something that's practiced and primed. And
I agree with you.
And through things like training the state change management, training these little practices like yours from Dr. Huberman with focusing on the pawn. These are the little things that build up into being able to create that persona of, when I sit down at the chessboard, I am the chess player. I am, whatever alias you want to make up, the checkmate king. But it's a shift into a different state where you're ready to perform.
Yeah, there's a good book. It's called The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman,
I'll have to check
and
it
it
out.
talks about this. Like his whole point is you have to make it a ritual where you turn into this alter ego, whether it's you put on a bracelet that reminds you of the alter ego or something else, and it's very effective. Although one time I was going into a very stressful. I was pitching a TV show in Hollywood, and I was about to go visit with Fox, and I called Todd and like, I'm really nervous. I need my alter ego. What should I do? And he said, just be yourself. And that's the hardest thing of all, is to just be yourself. I never like that advice.
That's a tough one. It's like, wait a minute, who's that?
Yeah, I don't know who I am.
Who's that today? It tends to change. That's funny. Well, do you have a chess alter ego? It seems like you've explored this idea with maybe a bracelet or some kind of thought structures. Is this something that you've invested in?
I've tried quite a bit, and I haven't been able to figure out a good alter ego. Again, I mentioned Naroditsky, like trying to, because I've watched so many of his videos, like hearing his voice when I'm making, he does very good job explaining his moves on video. Also, Avatik, my coach, but he's my coach, so has to balance a little bit. It's hard to have him as an alter ego, but Naroditsky has a good way of explaining his moves on these YouTube videos, and I've been experimenting with that lately. And it's, again, everything goes okay, but ultimately I could have a great game, and then like it's the classic story, and then I'll blunder at the end, and there's something I'm missing that's caused me to blunder more than when I was younger, and it's basically age. Like the most important thing as you get older is stamina, and I think building muscle is good for stamina. As Todd Bryan pointed out to me, all these senior champions have muscle. Looks like they've been weightlifting.
Absolutely. I
Like
love
like
the
Bortnick is the U.S. senior champion, and Jesse Cry. I think Jesse Cry won the Irwin championship of state senior champions, and both of them are bulked up. For someone in their 50s.
Sure, and I think this trend started with Kasparov. Certainly, Magnus has taken it to a different level, but
Yeah.
being the world champion and showing that it isn't just sitting in a cold, dark room studying chess all day, showing that it takes some balance and some holistic approach to taking care of your whole being. I think it's so important for our community. Our community being chess, but also chess, boxing, and life.
Gary has so much energy; it's ridiculous. Even now, because when I was in New York City, I lived right next door to him. He's
Cool.
been on my podcast a bunch of times. We've had dinner a bunch of times. Picture.
There he is.
I'm about to do. Did you see the picture?
Yeah.
I'm about to do a podcast with Gary. So here's Gary. Here's Jizza from the Wu-Tang Clan. Here's me, and here's Jim Norton, a famous comedian. Maria Konova, a professional poker player.
What a crew.
So we've all like hung out. The Jizza is a pretty good chess player, by the way. Speaking of chess boxing.
Yeah, the mystery of chess boxing. He was in our chess boxing documentary, which if you haven't seen, I'll send a download your way. But by Rook or Left Hook, have you seen it?
No.
Oh,
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, he's interviewed in it. And
we played quite a bit after my podcast with Gary. We played for a few hours.
So cool. Well, what a life you live, and what friends you keep.
I try to. That's the most important thing, is to make things interesting all the time.
I agree. And before you brought up the quote, it's not the destination, it's the journey. And I was recently at a wedding, and the father of the bride stood up and shared a version of that quote that I love. And he said, it's not the destination. It's actually not even the journey. It's who you journey with. It's really the relationships in your life that mean the most. And I have to commend you on who you've surrounded yourself with, who you are able to access to learn from, and how you view the positive, neutral, negative, and that idea from Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey, the idea of passing the boon, being able to bring other people along on that journey and give like people have given to you. It seems like that's a value of yours.
I'm trying to figure out what to do if I don't hit my goal. Like I've always, I'm writing a book about the experience, and I always thought the end would be basically me achieving this goal of being back to my old rating. And, it's a challenge for me as I'm writing the book now, even though I haven't reached the goal, because the journey itself, again, has some interesting, like, let's call it literary content, but I don't know how it will end. I don't know how this book will end, which is an unusual experience for me. I've written 25 books,
Wow.
and this is definitely the hardest book I've ever written.
Well, being in the middle of this process myself and being at the beginning of that journey, I'd love to ask about your process writing. You start it with an end in mind of I'll achieve my old rating, and that'll be the end of this book. Do you always, when you write a book, kind of have that outline, that end in mind, or do some of them kind of take you off in another direction, like this one?
Sometimes I'll outline, but this one, this one is sort of, I sit down and it's sort of writing itself. Like it's very unusual the chapters it's had me write and the people who are making an appearance in the book. Some who have nothing to do with chess, and but it's all related to this journey of me trying to be excellent in something because I constantly feel like a failure.
Mm.
So like, I've been an entrepreneur, and when I sold my very first business, I sold it for, a lot of money, like generational wealth. And then I went totally broke within 2 years and had to figure out, how to get out of depression, how to make this money back, and on and on. And, you know, the hero's journey can be fun, but sometimes it's very unpleasant too, hitting bottom, and you feel like you want to kill yourself, and you get depressed, and you know, with chess, there's definitely ups and downs as well, and a lot of it has to do with your self-worth and where your feelings of self-worth come from. Even getting good at chess, you have to have a good, healthy self-esteem,
Mm.
and often we don't have that, and that is the enemy that is fighting us, whether it's boxing or chess or money. Is your feelings of self-esteem. If you already have generational wealth, why are you trying to make 10 times as much? It's because I thought I would like myself after having, let's say, $15 million. Turns out I needed more, and I was crazy. It was a mental illness. And the same thing with chess. Why do I want to get back to 2200? Why is it linked to my self-worth? These are issues too that have to be dealt with. And writing is often a way for parts of your brain to speak to you without you knowing it.
There's so much wisdom in what you just shared. And I don't even know how to begin to break it down, but so much resonated with me. The highs and lows of trials within the hero's journey, the feeling of being inadequate, and the accompaniment of loved ones abandoning you because you aren't good enough, and what that can drive you to do is something that I've certainly experienced. I've been journaling most days of my life, and for a long period, a very disciplined every day of my life since I was 17, and
Wow.
sitting down with a pen and paper, which in this day and age is a little different than being able to type at the speed of thought. But the act of slowing down and seeing my handwriting tell myself something that I need to hear, that I didn't necessarily have the organization in my head to be able to think, is so important. And we talked a little bit about meditation before, but some sort of self-reflection process I think is vital to being able to identify those inadequacies, and start to uncover why we're doing the things we're doing, why we're trying to get to 2200 again, or in my case, why I had to fly across the world to go win a world championship, or why I feel like now I have to pick up this childhood pursuit of trying to earn a black belt when I gave up when I was 11. It's the same kind of human nature re-expressed in different ways through different people. I think we all live versions of it that
Yeah,
you spoke to so beautifully.
I agree. But then you take someone like Magnus, and I think Magnus actually is a very healthy guy, like
Yeah.
emotionally, mentally, physically, obviously. And I think probably out of the top 20 players, he might be the only one who's not in some way, depressed or anxious a little bit. He kind of in terms of lifestyle design, he's done a pretty good job.
I couldn't agree more. And thank God for heroes or for people like that to strive to emulate. I think the advantage of being able to see someone where you want to be, and being able to learn from them is such a life hack, and such an important thing to learn early in life.
That's always been like whenever I try to get good at anything, like I think of all the things, whether it's writing or investing or entrepreneurship or comedy or chess, I always try to put myself in the center of the world basically so I can learn from the greatest. That's why I build a relationship with Gary or some of the other top players out there, or I used to know all the top comedians in the world and or the top investors in the world I've spent time with. And you learn a lot just by not only hearing them speak and what they say, but just watching them as they do these things, because they have a different way of thinking and moving. They're the best in the world are always very special.
Absolutely. And if you have the resources to be able to invest in one-on-one instruction from experts, I don't think there's any better way to learn a craft. And if you don't have access to that, the beautiful thing about today's day and age that we've already touched on is the internet. You're able to go onto YouTube. Exactly. And watch these videos from these masters, or listen to podcasts and get into the same kind of thought patterns that people you look up to and revere and want to emulate have. And I just think we're so lucky and should be so grateful for the time period that we live in. Of course, there's a lot that's challenging about it too. Don't want to sweep all that under the rug, but we have so many opportunities that past generations didn't have access to, that can lead to a Renaissance man like yourself being able to go down all these different quest storylines and live a truly exceptional life.
Although there's always the danger of being jack of all trades, master of none, and sometimes I regret that I did quit chess, or that I did quit entrepreneurship, or any of the other things that I've been on the path to mastery of. And there's always a battle. There's always something that tries to get in the way of what's in your head.
Absolutely. I struggle with that too. I consider myself more leaning towards the jack of all trades kind of build. And if I'm an expert in anything, it's being a jack of all trades.
Yeah, but then you have to think I mean, to some extent, like I like blending subcultures. Like it's good to know, hey, if I'm tired of this, I have this other subculture I could go back to. But you wonder then, for the people who do spend their time on the lifetime of mastery of one path, and what if they don't hit their goal? Like, what if you're Anish Giri? And I don't know anything about Anish Giri other than he's been number 3 in the world several times. He's the youngest person to ever make 2,700 rating. But there's always Magnus there now. And if Magnus didn't exist, perhaps Anish would be the world champion. But he's never going to be, probably because, he's had this one guy in front of him. And was it worth him to spend his life pursuing one thing? And by the way, he might pursue many things. I don't know anything about him, so I'm just using his name and for no reason. But
sure,
I always wonder that as well.
Yeah, well, I know he is the unofficial CEO of chess.com, so he has a a business pursuit there too. That was the April Fool's joke last year.
Oh yeah, right. I remember that.
But
he has a pawn collection.
That's right. Yep. Count it. No, I think it's interesting because you're also an investor. So what you're alluding to is you put all your eggs in one basket. It's an insane amount of risk, as opposed to hedging a portfolio and having checks and balances to your bets. And I see being a jack of all trades, having diversified income streams, not putting all my eggs in one basket, as being a better approach to life for me. And there might be other people with other risk profiles that want to go big or go home. Mr. Beast comes to mind. Magnus comes to mind, where they double down very early in life, reinvest all of their time and resources into becoming the best, and it plays out. It works.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think this one's a to each their own, and I have no regrets. I love being able to connect with different people with different expertise and learning enough about it to understand it, knowing I'm never going to be the world's greatest at it. But I value that connection
Well,
more.
you know what you can do though, and I find this to be very valuable, is you can't sometimes often it's very hard to be the best at something. Tennis, violin, chess, boxing, but you can be the best at the intersection of all the things you love. So chess, boxing, Matt, you probably are the best.
Well, in 2018, I was.
There you go. You're the Magnus Carlsen of chess boxing.
Yeah.
I'm honored to speak to the Magnus Carlsen of chess boxing. So I always challenge people: find the what list all the things you're interested in. Find the intersection. I bet you're the best in the world at that intersection.
And make up a sport. Be the world champion of it. You can play your own game if you try hard enough. And I think that's excellent advice. That intersection, that cross pollination of interests is one of the beautiful things about life.
I know a guy who he was like a bond trader for Morgan Stanley, just like a boring banking job. But he loved sports, but he wasn't going to be an athlete, and he wasn't going to be the best investment banker. And when COVID started, he started a newsletter called Huddle Up, and it's about the business of sports. So his latest issue was like, how does the Super Bowl make money? That type of thing. And he's now the best in the world at writing about the business of sports. He quit his job. His newsletter has got a couple 100,000 paying subscribers, and he makes a living writing about the business of sports now. He became the best in the world at his intersection.
This guy needs to be at the Sloan Sports Analytics Conference on March 1st and 2nd, Boston, hosted by MIT. Sounds like he will fit in with all the other sports nerds that are up there.
He maybe is going to that. His name's Joe Pompliano. I'm not interested in sports at all, and I love this newsletter.
That says something too. If someone is so compelling, knowledgeable, good enough communicator to where you aren't interested in the subject matter, but you still glean something from it and return to it, that shows something.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to look up Joe and see if he'll be in Boston that weekend. I'd love to meet him, especially after that glowing review.
Yeah, I know he's a good guy.
Very cool. Okay, so you're writing this book right now, and you're focused on it. I don't expect you to have any wandering kind of eyes, but if there were another quest that you could kind of pause this one and pursue, is there anything that currently has some of your curiosity or something that you would lean into maybe next?
No. And usually that's, for me specifically, that's kind of one of the things about quests. Like, I get very single-minded and obsessive in my interests. Like when I was doing comedy, okay, I would watch 5-6 hours of comedy videos a day.
Wow.
I would write. I would perform 7-8 times a week because you can perform multiple times in a day. I bought a comedy club. I really became single-minded, and then just like that, it stopped, and I lost interest.
Can you tell me more about that? Like what happens when it stops? What
I just
led to
stopped
it
doing it? I just have no interest in watching another comedy video and writing comedy. I mean, now I'll watch some comedy videos, and the beauty is when you become good at something, you learn to appreciate more subtleties with it. Just like with chess, an international master or a grandmaster can appreciate more things about a beautiful chess game than I can, than you can, than others can, and so on. Magnus appreciates more subtleties of the game than Gukesh does because he's still, let's say, a standard deviation better. And I enjoy that obsessiveness where I can appreciate those subtleties. But then it just, so I keep that with me. But the desire to perform again is just completely gone.
Wow, interesting. Did something happen that sparked this? Was it more of like a sputtering, running out of fuel for that was driving the passion, or what do you
Yeah, a
think it
couple
was?
things happened, but one thing that happened was I just fell in love with chess again.
There we go.
I was in love with it when I was younger, and basically I cheated on comedy with chess, and then I divorced comedy and married chess.
Wow. Okay. I
And
get it.
before comedy, I was writing and every day and writing tons of books, and before that, I was entrepreneur, and before that, I was an investor, and so on.
Very cool. One off question, but what book that you've written are you the most proud of, and why?
There's a book I wrote called Choose Yourself. It was a massive best. It sold over 1 million copies,
Hmm.
and it's basically this concept that don't wait for others to choose you. So you get chosen for university, you get chosen for a job, you get chosen by a publishing house if you want to write a book, you get chosen by a TV channel if you want to make a TV show. Well, get out of that habit of waiting to be chosen and choose yourself. So you want to make a radio show? Well, guess what, Matt, you're doing it. We're on. You made your radio/TV show with this show, and if you want to write a book, write the book and self-publish it. My book, Choose Yourself, which again sold over 1 million copies, I self-published it, and it has almost a 5-star rating across 6,000 reviews.
Wow.
So I didn't suffer quality, didn't suffer from make. I made more money on that book than I've worked with a lot of mainstream publishers like HarperCollins, Penguin, Random House, and so on. I've made more money with self-published books than that. So I chose myself. Somebody did a documentary based on Choose Yourself, and rather than get a distributor, I told them let's just upload it to Amazon Prime. We chose ourselves to distribute our own documentary.
Amazing.
So yeah, you could by having that attitude, by switching it around, people chase you instead of you chasing people.
That also resonates deeply. And I feel like, at least for me, it was born from not getting chosen. Like only having the option of having to choose myself if I wanted it to get done, because the applications or whatever else didn't pan out.
Yeah,
Um,
like I used to work at HBO. That was my first and only job after I was thrown out of graduate school. And I I pitched to them several documentary ideas. They loved them all, but I didn't win the political game. And so, the woman in charge of documentaries, she loved all my stuff, but she decided to not do it. And 30 years later, or sorry, 20 years later, she came on my podcast and said she was wrong in that. Like my stuff was great, but and we get along, we're friends. But at the time, I was so disappointed because I was just waiting by the phone every day for this person to choose me. When unfortunately now with the internet and the web and everything, there's many more opportunities for people to choose themselves. Would Mr. Beast have been a TV star, 40 years ago? No, but he's the biggest star on the planet now because he chose himself.
God, if that isn't a good lesson and value to hit home as we wrap here, I don't know what is. So, to chat to anyone listening to this after it's posted up to YouTube, etc. Choose yourself.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? It's worked out for James Altucher. Certainly, that mindset has certainly helped me too, and it makes me want to read it to re-strengthen those neural pathways. Because no one can say yes for you, no one can say no for you, no one can lean into something that you're meant to do for you. It's you.
And it's so disappointing to just wait and wait for other people to choose you, to try to please others. They have their own agendas. They don't have your agenda. So if you're not choosing yourself, someone else will end up choosing you, and the terms won't be as good for you.
Amen. Amen. I know this is another thing that's been on my mind recently, especially with the release of Bitcoin ETF and etc. So another James Altucher hat with Investor James. I know that you're knowledgeable about blockchain and crypto. I know that you pay attention to the space. What do you think is happening currently, in the space with the more institutional kind of banks like a BlackRock getting into it, and where
Yeah.
do you think it's going?
Well, for years everybody was worried. First off, Bitcoin is every couple of centuries there's or decades there's an evolution of money. It went from barter, it evolved into gold, it evolved into paper IOUs for gold. You'd give your gold to the goldsmith, they'd give you an IOU, and that was the beginning of paper money, was IOUs for gold. So then you had gold-backed money for many years, and then you had fiat money when we went off the gold standard. Now money is backed by the trust you have in your country. Well, people started to lose trust in their countries when the Great Recession happened, in 2008, 2009. So Bitcoin was made. It doesn't involve any trust. It has functional use because of the millions of man hours of programming that's gone into it and other tokens in the crypto space. So Bitcoin and crypto in general is here to stay. And now finally, after 15 years, we finally have some regulation which allowed for BlackRock, the biggest financial institution in the world, to make an ETF. And now it's easy for grandma and grandpa to buy Bitcoin. Until a few weeks ago, it was not easy to buy a Bitcoin. It was hard for most people. Now, some people could say it was easy for them, but in general, it was hard for people. And so that now every big sovereign wealth fund of different countries, every mutual fund is going to allocate some of their money to Bitcoin over the next few months, few years, and so on. So that alone is huge for the Bitcoin price. Second, you have something called the halving, which I won't describe, that's happening in April. That's going to be huge for Bitcoin. You have similar things going on with Ethereum. Then there's going to be more ETFs approved, like Ethereum ETFs, Solana ETFs, and so on. Then you have countries. When I was in Norway, I sat down not only with Magnus, but I sat down with the central bankers of Norway, and they want to upgrade to their whole financial payment system and use some form of blockchain and crypto. So you see, every country is thinking about it. Heck, when I was in Amsterdam to watch Levitov Chess Week, I ran into Basil Koch, who created the Swift wiring system. Back in the 80s, there were the Swift chess tournaments. Well, the Swift wiring system is how every person wires internationally to other people. And he agrees that the old system now is an antique. We need a new payment system without all these intermediaries in the middle. That's crypto. So crypto's got a long way to go. This is inning one. I would say Bitcoin itself probably hits between 150 and 200,000 before the end of 2024.
Wow.
But then that means a lot of the smaller tokens that are useful, you have to be careful because most of them are scams. But a lot of the smaller tokens are going to go up thousands of percent along the way. So that's my take.
Thank you so much for saying this, and I love that we're saying this at the end because, especially on Twitch and especially with younger audiences, a lot of people associate crypto with scams. And you just touched on it too. That there's influencers that do pump and dumps. There's
I know a guy who just got caught for doing some pump and dump on crypto. 95% of the alt tokens out there are either going to zero because they're useless or they are scams. But there are there's 14,000 alt tokens. That 95%, that 5% that's good is still a pretty big number. You just have to do your research, and they're going to do very well.
And that's the key. So what convinced me is a very close friend of mine, a guy like a brother, is a VP at BlackRock, and his project was the Bitcoin ETF. His name is Sam Koenigsberg. I love him. He manages all my money. He's helped set me up and reshaped money in my mind from something I had a very negative relationship with to something that I have a very positive relationship with now. And when he explained this to me, I already had built-in trust for him, so it was easier for me to take the kind of truth and wisdom that you're talking about, and that he was also telling me, and adopt it and go with it. And I see a lot of people in this content creation space, and especially the communities around these creators, either actively working against it or just being fearful of it. And I think it's important to keep an open mind and give at least learning about it a chance. You don't have to invest money into it, and especially money you don't have to potentially lose, because it is still an inherent risk when you put money into anything. But the process of saying, okay, life changes, everything within life changes, that means money changes too. And just as humans evolve, money will evolve too. Maybe this is the next evolution. And if you just take that open-minded curiosity and apply it to learning, you might come to the same conclusion of, hey, this isn't for me. I don't actually think this is going to be the future. I don't agree with James. I don't agree with Matt or Sam. But you might find ways that it does resonate with you, where you see a future where it could be useful, and maybe that thought could change your life. Maybe that's where you act on a belief, and it sets you up, for you, your family, or future generations up in a very positive way. So I know that was completely out of left field. We didn't have a great segue for that one, but I hope that especially the people in chat, I see a comment or two about that stuff scares me. I hope that this sinks in a little bit, and it's at least a call to action to learn a little bit more about it.
I mean, just put in perspective, the BlackRock ETF, which just launched about a month ago or a few weeks ago, is the fastest growing ETF in all history now. I mean, there was so much pent up demand for people wanting to get involved. But again, in the crypto space, there are exchanges like Sushi Swap or Pancakes. No one wants to go to, grandma doesn't want to go to Sushi Swap and get like a hard wallet to store her Bitcoin. Like, it's just crazy. So now you can buy it on the New York Stock Exchange. It's great.
It's beautiful. Yep. And yeah, would love to connect you with Sam. I think you two would have an interesting conversation.
Yeah, it sounds like it. No, they did a very good job. Look, when the government needed to hire someone to unwind all the derivatives in 2008, 2009, trillions of dollars worth of derivatives, they hired BlackRock.
Yep.
So BlackRock knows what they're doing.
They do. Yeah. We could have a big conversation about BlackRock too. If you don't know what BlackRock is, guys, do a Google search.
They own half the houses in Atlanta, by the way, as an investment.
They do, and Sam was a big part of them setting up their Atlanta office right off the Beltline, Ponce City Market. But yeah, big BlackRock presence here now. But yeah, thank you for articulating and in a very refined way Bitcoin and crypto in general, because I do think it gets a bad rap, especially these days, especially in the shadow of bad actors like a Sam Bankman-Fried, or Fried,
yeah.
Freudian slip. So yeah, I think it's important to hear both sides of every story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we have extended beyond our Chess TV slot. I could talk to you all day. Is there anything else on your mind, or as a part of this chess journey that you're currently on, that calls to you that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, and this is something I'm more telling myself, and it's something you hear from a lot of players, is that the real most important thing is, you have to enjoy the game, win or lose. Now, obviously, winning is more pleasant than losing by a lot. I don't know why it's so with chess. Like, I don't care if I lose at Monopoly, but I care a lot if I lose at chess. And it's a cliche to say, really enjoy it. But, in comedy, there's a similar thing where, let's say you're doing a set on a stage and there's an audience, it's dark and it's the audience and they're not laughing. Sometimes you get nervous, and the audience senses that. The audience they have X-ray vision. They could tell when you're nervous or upset. You always have to make sure, whether it's chess, comedy, entrepreneurship, whatever it is that you're doing, is that you're having the party and everyone else is just invited. So just make sure whatever you do, you're the party, and people would be lucky to be invited to your party. And then that puts things in a good perspective.
In so many words, choose yourself.
Exactly.
And we have some people looking forward to reading your book. I'm going to pick up Choose Yourself right now. I hope is there an audio version?
I'll get you one, Matt. I'll see you soon. I'll get you one.
Okay. Well, I'd love to. I love listening to books and podcasts while I do cardio. that is my favorite thing. There's something about working my brain while I'm working my body that speaks. It must be my chess boxing soul. But
I did the audiobook for Choose Yourself, so you can knock yourself out.
it's your voice. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I hear
I've
that's
done all my audiobooks.
I hear that's a Herculean task.
Ugh, it's the
So
worst.
I commend you for that.
I am not having a party when I'm doing the audiobook. Although that's not true. I sometimes veer so much from the book because I don't like to just straight read what I wrote. Like the written word is not the same as the spoken word. So I don't like to straight read what I wrote. So I add the audiobook, I add stories, I tell things in a different way. I am having a party when I read the audiobook.
I love that. I'm even more looking forward to it now. And
Yeah,
I have plenty of Audible credits to
when I did my next book, I did it with HarperCollins, and they knew what I do, and they said, "Please stick to the book, the written word." But I just couldn't do it, and they had to deal with it.
Good for you. It was your party, even though HarperCollins
I'm having
was
a party
publishing.
wherever
Yep.
I go.
It's awesome. Well, James, this was such a pleasure. Yeah,
Yes,
again,
hey Matt, thank you so much.
exclamation point James Altucher in chat to find James's website and the hub for all the projects that he has his hands in. If you do have more questions for James that you want to ask maybe offline that come up after this, or you watch this later, drop them in the Discord, and maybe we'll consolidate some and try to get them answered somehow, some way for you
Yeah,
guys
absolutely.
if you're curious about
I'll be happy
anything.
to answer any messages that you get, Matt. I'll be happy to respond and answer.
Awesome, and I'll end with this. I hope you come to a chess boxing training, and a certain Fabiano Caruana is interested in chess boxing, and a specific format that we have called Chess Boxing Fit, where you actually don't take any shots to the head. And when he comes to Atlanta to try Chess Boxing Fit, we need a gauntlet of talented chess players to give him a run for his money. We're gonna set
All
up
right.
him hitting a heavy bag with him going through a simul of 2,000 plus ELO chess players. So
By
if you
the
want to be
way,
a part of that, we'd love to have you.
His C Squared podcast is really good. I really enjoy the content he's making.
Absolutely. Shout out to Fabi. Love that he's into chess boxing. Love that he's performing so well on the international stage and giving the USA a good look.
Yeah.
And same. I can say the same thing about you, James. Thank you for everything you've created and the life that you're living as a model for others to follow in your footsteps on various quests and fun adventures.
Thank you, and thanks again for having me on the show. I really loved it. Great questions.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be in touch soon.
Excellent.
All right, I'm going to just end the call. I'm going to shift gears into chess. Guys, let me know in chat what you thought of the conversation with James. I'd love to hear your feedback. We've already gotten some, but I'll go ahead and say, all right, bye, James. I'm ending it. Thanks, James. Thanks, James. I love it. What an awesome guy! Are you kidding me? How inspiring, how knowledgeable. That dude's awesome. I'm so glad that happened. I hope you guys are as grateful as I am. It's not every day you get to talk to someone like that. It was so good. Thanks, James. We have the website in chat if you want to learn. I saw some people earlier wanting to play some chess. We will end stream with a little bit of chess. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to catch up on the daily puzzles. That's my New Year's resolution. That's a goal. I'm going to stick to it. Got to engage discipline. Got to get those reps. So I'm going to do the daily puzzles. I might play a game or two against viewers. Let me know if you want to play, and I'll make time for you. But let's go ahead and get this pulled up. We have 7 puzzles to catch up on. You know what? I'm going to do the push-ups. If I miss, I am going to do. I wasn't going to do them because of time, but I'm going to do them. So we're zeroing out our push-up count, and we are going to get into this. Let's go all the way back to February 13th. This is Light Squared Bishop's Dark Squared Demise. What a name for this puzzle. Share in chat if you're sticking around. Share in chat. What was your favorite thing that James shared? What resonated with you the most that you're going to take away from this stream, this conversation? I'm genuinely interested to know. Jax, I'm sorry you're not feeling well. I'm glad you got to watch though. I think it would help anyone to watch, but I'm especially glad you watched. Let's see here. Wait, whose move is this? I don't even see where it says like white to move or black to move. Oh, that one says white to move. Okay, white to move. Got it. I should believe and stick to. I should believe and stick to what I want and pick me first. Choose you, Chava. I think you are choosing you this year already. If you haven't checked it out, guys, Chava's making content on YouTube. His shorts are popping off. He's doing puzzles. He's helping me with shorts. He is stepping into chess and content creation in a way that I'm really proud of him for. I mean, I feel like this check looks good. So he's going one of these 3 squares. What about this check? Now we're going here. He's very similar to you. Ups and downs, difficulties, good times, so much apart from the fact that he's accomplished. Oh, he is very accomplished, and we all have ups and downs. That's just part of human nature. It's part of life. I think he has a great way of making that relatable and also giving hope. If it feels hopeless, you can still succeed a lot. I didn't even know the part of his life where he sold a company, got generational wealth, and then lost it all. That's crazy. That's a different level of ups and downs. All right, we have this check or this check. I don't see other good candidate moves except for maybe this check. Oh no, he can just take that though. Would have hugged him if I could. He's just amazing. Oh, Jax, that's adorable. Ups and downs for sure. Excellent talk. Glad you like it, MD Knight. I see the problem here is I don't see a clear follow-up to either one of these checks. Just intuitively, I think it's this one. And it's not. Thanks a lot, intuition. That's our first 10 push-ups. All right, let's try this one. It is that one. Okay. So he's going back. Ooh, and then we get to steal the bishop. Cool. All right. 10 push-ups. We'll take that. We'll take one miss. Did anyone want to see the UFC 298 card? Oh, Chava, I saw your question. And I just did. James was on a roll, so I didn't want to interrupt him. But Ilya would absolutely kick my ass. I do love that he is a matador, the same ring name, and he attributes his success to meditation, which like I love my meditation practice too. So it's cool. He's another meditating matador is on top of the world. I freaking love it. It's so cool. Cupid's arrow is Valentine's Day puzzle. Okay. Check. Take. Check. Push. Checkmate, right? Oh. Oh, I think we just reposition here. Yep, there we go. No push-ups on that one. Let's go, team. Duck, duck, loose. His right hand was freaking strong. Props to him. Yeah, I love that he has a boxing background and is succeeding the UFC. It's kind of like Sean Strickland, right? It's like I saw a stat going into UFC 298 that Ilya had not thrown a kick in a UFC fight yet. What? It's crazy. In the age of calf kicks and leg kicks like dominating, Ilya is a boxer. It's awesome. Gives me hope, you know? Please tell James he's an inspiration, truly. Absolutely, Jax. And you can, follow him on his socials or send him a message yourself. Let him know that you watched the stream. And just be like, hey, it really resonated. I'm sure he reads those, and I'm sure it'll help him too if he gets that kind of positivity from showing up to something like this. Okay, we're shutting off here. This is hanging. Hanging big time too. Okay, something is loose though. This could be loose maybe. If we come here, that doesn't work. Oh, interesting. But if we do this, challenging it, then it looks like we get a fork. Should we try that? Oh! Okay. We were wrong. It might be the same kind of idea, just done differently. Take here. Then take here. I don't know if this is really doing much, though. I love how strikers are making a rise again with them learning great takedown defense. That would be my only shot in MMA, is just being really hard to take down. Later, guys. Thanks for the motivation, Matt. Absolutely, MD Knight. Thanks for bringing some positivity in here today. Glad you're able to listen to James. I mean, to save this pawn, I would just push it. But that's way too passive, right? I feel like this just loses the... I'm thinking about this. He's got a retake. Then here. No, then here. Feel better, Jax? Struggling to breathe. Man, that's so tough. I'm sorry you're feeling sick. Really try to breathe into your belly if you can. I know it might feel really tight in your chest, but if you can do diaphragm breathing, it'll be really good for you. Okay, let's just try this. It was that. I'm looking at these. Still not that. Alright, we're up to 30. We doing some push-ups. I feel like that's a good move. So maybe we do something first. Or maybe we redirect the queen another way. Just like our pieces don't really go anywhere or do anything. What am I missing? I feel like that's too passive. 2 pawn moves. Maybe I come here. And then he can't. Well, he has to come back here, and then we fork. What? This one's hard. What am I missing, guys? Tried that, tried that. Yeah, another push-up set. Not including today, the past puzzles have been very hard. Oh, great. Hooray! More push-ups for Matt. We might be using our 10 push-up hint. I feel like these are two very solid, not arrows, that's for sure. Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. Ooh, we found it, team. We found it. That felt good. I got a little dopamine hit from that. That made me happy. Okay, what's going on here? Discovering a beautiful attack. I mean, should we just get a queen? There might be a checkmate. We're playing around this discover check. Okay, this is interesting. Wait a minute, we are pretty close to checkmate. He only has one square. So, if we move here... Check, he has to respond to it. Can't move here, can't move here. He's got to come back and block. I do think this is the first move. Okay, cool. Push. Take. That's not it. Okay. I guess we need something more crushing here. Okay, what we got? I mean, check, take, check, here, check, finish. What? Why not? Oh, it's just an immediate mate. Okay. Wow, we're up to 60 push-ups. We had that one. I should have just thought a little bit longer. Should have calculated a little better. Got to check. Okay. So this shuts off these squares. This shuts off these squares. So he can go here. Pawn shuts off here. He's only got one square. The king wears out the squares. I mean, I feel like that would finish it, right? Another 10 push-ups. We're up to 70. Can we stay under 100 today? I don't know if we can. I'm betting around 100 to 120 push-ups. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Chava. You got to do half of them with me. So sorry, I have to sleep. Feel awful. Of course, go to bed. Enjoy that burger. I will. I got a friend coming with me for Burger Monday tonight, too. I'm excited. Great stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really glad this worked out. I missed having guests on this slot. And when it lined up with James, I just knew it was time to start it up again. Next week, we'll be having Lena back from Outpost. There's a bunch of really cool updates from Outpost. An exclamation point Outpost for that. Do me a favor and test this link for Outpost. Just click on it. You don't have to do anything. If you don't want to create an account on Outpost, you don't have to. But just click on it. I want to see if it works. I would love if you created an Outpost profile, by the way, though. Actually, wait. Wait until next week if you haven't done it already. Because we're going to be doing giveaways for people that create an Outpost chess profile on the next stream. You're going to be able to win some stuff. Of course, Jax, feel better. It can't be that. 30 minimum, because I know how these couple two will be interesting. Okay. That means it's really hard if Chava's saying that. Okay, do we try to force him to come forward? Check, take. Check, take. Oh no, that doesn't work because of this. So he's got to go here. Check, take. Oh, I was right. Okay. Now what? That loses a bishop. Do we want him to lose that bishop, though? It's not this. It's not that. Oh, Jax adding 15 to Chava's count. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, he has so few squares. How do we check him, though? We can't check him without losing this bishop. Or the rook. If he's here, can we checkmate him? No. Okay, so let's imagine him here. What do we do now? Maybe this. He can escape backwards, though. I feel like we need to keep that bishop there. I don't see it. What's going on? It's got to be a mate, right? Oh, what if it's here, then here? Then he has this. Then we have that. This is turning into a very long puzzle. All right. We had 80. I feel like this had good potential, though. Come on. Am I right? Check. He can either take or just take. It's not that. Check, take, check. Did I already try this though? Or no? Yeah, I did. It's a pawn move? That would be checkmate. I guess we just need to take this. Okay, another 10 push-ups. Okay, we got there. I think we missed 4 on that one. 3 or 4. That was pretty rough. All right, we are on... we have 2 more. So we're still within striking distance of Chava's. We basically have to be perfect in order to prove Chava wrong. Otherwise, Chava's probably going to nail it with 100 to 120. What up, Chess TV? We back. Come over, hang out. We're doing puzzles. If you haven't done yesterday or today's puzzles, that's what we're doing. Selling material, buying squares. Check. I think we just push them back, right? Nope. Nope. What am I doing? Why am I guessing? That's 110. We already proved Chava right. Here, here, here. Is this unstoppable? Huh. The title makes me think that we're sacrificing our bishop. What is going on with this one? Oh, I kind of had it right. What? Why wouldn't it be that? What is going on here? Okay, well that's 20 more push-ups. Where are we going from here? We just gave away 2 pawns. I don't understand why we wouldn't check. Should we come here? I was thinking that we like set up a checkmate. It is setting up a checkmate. Alright, I missed one more. 140. Might be a 150 day, guys. Let's see if we get this on the first try. Oh, I feel like Casa's here. Who misses Casa? I miss Casa. This is X marks the X marks the spot. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. 140 push-ups. I'm going to do my first set. Java, you got to do 15, buddy. I'm going to break this up into 3 sets. I'm doing 50. You're doing 15. Appreciate the follow. Really is Tyson. Are you really Tyson? Oh, I can't go this way. Oh. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I forgot I did Barry's boot camp yesterday. I am so sore. Today was a bad day to do puzzles and push-ups. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Slowing down already. Oh boy. Get my stretches in. All right. 20 more. We got this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. Woo! All right, finishing strong. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. Woo! Boom. Chava, you doing? You got 15? Sheesh. Oh. All right, the new camera just got dropped. All right. We're done with this. Let's play a little chess while we recover. Get ready to do more push-ups. What do you say? My leg! Did your leg hurt from from push-ups? What happened to your leg, Captain Swab? What's going on? We're gonna do 30, but max out at 25. 25's great, man. You did 25 in one go. Nice. Getting strong, Chava. All right, let's play some blitz. When he dropped the camera. Oh. This kind of seemed like that, right? That's a problem. All right, we got our position. That's sweet. It's probably this. I think it's probably that. So he thinks I'm like reinforcing this. He's just gonna do that. I'm gonna come from here. Get him. Oh, wait. I probably should have done that. Look at that back door. I think we do this, hitting both of these. Not in one go, did 15 and another 10. Nice! Dude, that's still great. Still like kind of one go. Because like I was taking breaks every 10, you know? Stretching out. Berries is no frickin' joke though. I have a friend in New York who's a berries instructor. Which, by the way, hello! We didn't even talk about this! Oh, it's not that. Hold on. We didn't even talk about this! Let me finish this game. I don't think we have mate. We do not, in fact, have mate. So here. Looks pretty good. Oh, but then we're disrupting this. He can come here. What do we do then? We lose our queen. Can't do that. I think we probably just come right back. Let's play safe. This is a pretty bad square for my queen, actually. I should have come back here. Now come here. Let's get you in there. Oh wait, this move, pretty good. We gotta move a little faster. I mean, great. Oh my god! What is happening? What? Why did you take my queen? Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, you better resign. Let's go. Botez Gambit declined is right. That's what happens when you decline a Botez Gambit. Okay. I'm going to try to knock out another set of push-ups. Let's do it. We got to knock these bad boys out today. Oh yeah, I got to move my camera again. Okay, here we go. I probably need another light for down here. It looks super dark. Ha! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. Last 10, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Oh my God. Woo! All right. Don't drop the camera. Don't do it. What happened? Hey! Okay, we back. Hopefully. Maybe. Probably. Connecting to computer. What is happening? Problem with moving the camera around. Come on. Okay, we're back. Woo. All right, what we got next? Another game. Yeah, let's go. Ooh, advanced French. Okay, I think we like that. We're just dominating this bishop, making him move all over the place. Let's do this instead. Did my last 5 to round out my 30. Nice. Now what about Jax's 15? Huh? Did we just win this? Let's try it. Oh, he can trade the bishop. Yeah. Not good. This is hanging. Free? This is looking pretty good for us. I'll wait till you're finished with this game. Deal! Yeah, I still have another set to go, so it's all good. Can't do that. Can do this. Does that help us? Guess we protect that. We really want to get this rook. Check, check, check. Trade off queens, because we're up material. That's probably it, right? Check. Interesting. Check. Here. Check. I think we have a mating sequence. Right? Check. He's got to go here. Then check. He's got to go here. Then checkmate. Hey! Oh, you're trying to advance your French on me? Trying to advance your French on me? Not up in here! Alright, more push-ups. Actually, no, I'm going to play another game. That was a quick game. I can't do push-ups. Yeah. We are at 100, though. Dude, we're kind of on fire today. James Altucher? Haven't lost a blitz game? I mean... It's me and Chava hanging out. Just crushing life over here, doing push-ups, playing chess. Okay, exchange. Shut that off. Check. Nice. Now this stays here forever. What up, Mr. Immortality? Welcome in. Who said no? Why are you saying no? James gave us that confidence? Yeah, he did. Oh, Mr. Immortality, did I just play you or something? Is that what you're saying now? Explain yourself. Italian Machine? What up? Welcome in. Glad you're here. Starting this and pin. Take, take, take. Can't retake. Looks pretty good. The pawn is pinned? Yes, it is. You were good. I know. That's why I took it. It only stays there when you can't be retaken by another knight straight away. I'm a little confused by what you're saying. Force this. Or do we shut this off? I think we just try to control light squares. The move you said was bad was better. This? Retake? It's not pinned. fair. My bad. All good. I just appreciate you chatting. What's up? Are you actually immortal? What's your story? Mr. Immortality subscribing for a month. You didn't have to do that, dude, but I appreciate it.
Mr._Immortality is making sub moves.
Alright, let's get this out of harm's way. Avoid a tempo loss. I appreciate you, Mr. Immortality. You are officially a mover. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I should not have moved away from that defense square. Am I dead now? I might be dead now. I don't really have a choice, do I? He's going to take this. I'm going to take that. We got a fork. He can defend, though. Is that mate? It's almost mate. Alright, let's develop this guy, defend our back rank. Careful. Yeah, I'm kind of screwed now. I mean, this guy's defending. He has check. We're here. Check here. Check. Yeah, I think he made us. We'll see if he figures it out. Bishop f5. Oh, that is a good move. Good shout. Spending a lot of time on this, which is good for us. Probably should come back to this. Oh, he's setting up for mate. Oh, I think we take this away. I think we take this away. I don't think he has mate yet. I don't think he can mate me yet because of this rook is defense MVP. Now he has this. Can I stop it? I think I'm just a little too slow. And even if I came to f5, he still has that move. I think I just missed that move. I can't get back to second rank to defend. I can't come up to second rank to defend. That does nothing. I can't move. Is this over? Do I have any checks? No, no. Here doesn't help. I sacrifice anything. I think I'm dead, team. I think I'm dead. Take the bishop to assert dominance. We think alike, Mr. Immortality. We think alike. God King Kuluthu, thanks for the follow. Rexiner02, thanks for the follow. What's that squid thing? That's cute. All right, let's review this real quick. Where did we go wrong? Still all good here. Oh, okay. So it's saying this is a mistake. Oh, I see what it wants me to do. This is actually a really interesting idea. That's a good move sequence. Can't take, right? Pretty good. Play the London, bro. The Jabava London? Like Canty? My boy Canty. My boy Canty used his Prime sub on me this month. Like a boss. Okay. So I took... So I should have done that first. I see. So he gets a check with tempo first. What should I have done? Should have developed. Honestly, I think this is kind of a good move too. You can't do this. Another mistake. Should have gone here. Okay. Good to know. He's trying to set up a mating net. There's my blunder. There's where I went wrong. Game over. Now I just play the hippo. Accelerated London's the only one you know? What's Accelerated London? Accelerated London is just like nope. What? We're in London. This isn't saying... Oh, it is Accelerated London. Okay, cool. Yes, I know that one too, then. All right, we lost some rating points. We're down to 1282. Yikes, we're below 1,300. Not ideal. Accelerated is just a normal London now. What up, poet? What up, Mr. CEO? You want a poem? You fishing for a poem? You know I got haikus on deck. Give me some inspiration. Give me some source material. What up, Adri Magnu? We want to develop our bishop. I don't know about that move. I think you're going right back, dude. And I just get a free tempo. Now I can't do that. You are very brave. Thank you. Wait, I feel like that's like a backhanded compliment. Why am I brave? Roman chess poem Rose. Okay, let me marinate on that. Okay, coming right back. Hanging. Let's come here. Start lining up a battery. I think we take those. Right? Yeah, I think we take that. Do we push now? We might be pushing. Leave that all blocking him up, you know? Let's do this. think we can still get some tempos here. All is not lost. You can just take. This is still free. We can't trade. Queen's good, bro. We chillin'. Would appear we need to defend this. We're pretty behind on time. I gotta go fast. This knight still sucks. I think we're coming here next. We push! Why? So we can shut off this square for his knight. Ooh, this is even better. We take. We check. We take. We gotta move fast. We can win this. Let's pin. Then we come here. Whoops! That one was a mistake. If he doesn't move his bishop, he loses it. Lovely. We got one of these bishops now. Now it's bishop rook. Stop that advance. We advance. Get all of our pawns on dark squares. And then start picking shit off. Amazing. gonna win? He went the wrong way on that one. We have less than 30 seconds to finish, though. Let's come here. Oh, my God! Oh, he could have taken. Holy smokes, dude. That was a blunder. That was like a very real blunder. What you got, bro? Let's go here. Let's go here. 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 Ah! Misclick. That might cost me the game. Yeah. I needed to spend less time on that game. GG. He played a good game. Okay, let's finish off our push-ups for the day. By the way, if you're new here, we do puzzles and push-ups to start our Monday streams for the last week of daily puzzles. For everyone that I miss, I do 10 push-ups. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 40 more that we owe today. And then we are all caught up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 20 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. More a little stretch. And we finish it strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 40. Woo! You are always, always, always welcome to join me for push-ups. We get stronger and we get smarter here. The Moving with Matt stream. You did Jax's 15. Good job, Shab. I'm proud of you. Hell yeah, bro. All right. I'm going to play this for you so you can see what I did this weekend. Also, chest doesn't have to hit the floor. As long as you go to 90 or below, you're getting a good push-up rep. And I do have push-up grips. They help my wrists because my wrists are wrecked from boxing. It's a thing. Okay, let me think through these prompts real quick. Roman chess poem Rose. Okay, I got the first line. Okay, I got second line. Boom! Haiku! Using all of your prompts. I did it. Now you have to give the sub. That's the rules. Those are the rules. I didn't make them up. You don't have to give the sub. But I would like it if you follow me on any or all of those socials. That would be much appreciated. Please, please, please. Por favor. Okay, who are we sending you to today? Nemo it is. Guys, I had so much fun with you today. I hope you enjoyed James Altucher. I hope you enjoyed the puzzles, push-ups, and blitz games after. I hope you have a great time with our good friend Nemo. Looks like she's doing a Bong Cloud Arena. She's probably still beating everyone. She's a beast. Tell her I say hi. Have a great rest of your night. And